Translation. The personified Vedas said, "We offer our respectful obeisances unto you, the Lord, the shelter of the quality of goodness, and therefore the source of all religion, austerity, and penance. For you are transcendental to all material qualities, and no one knows you or your actual situation. In the material world, there is the trinity of the three material qualities. Lord Vishnu has accepted the superintendence of the quality of goodness, which is the source of religion, knowledge, austerity, renunciation, opulence, etc. Because of this, actual peace, prosperity, knowledge, and religion can be attained when the living entities are under the control of the quality of goodness in the material world. As soon as they are subjected to the control of the other two qualities, namely passion and ignorance, their precarious conditional life becomes intolerable. But Lord Vishnu, in his original position, is always nirguna, which means transcendental to these material qualities. Guna means quality, and nir means negation. This does not indicate, however, that he has no qualities. He has transcendental qualities by which he appears and manifests his pastimes. The positive, transcendental, qualitative manifestation is unknown to the students of the Vedas, as well as for the great stalwart demigods like Brahma and Shiva. Actually, the transcendental qualities are manifested only to the devotees. As confirmed in Bhagavad Gita, simply by discharging devotional service one can understand the transcendental position of the Supreme Lord. Those who are in the mode of goodness can partially enter into the transcendental understanding, but it is advised in Bhagavad Gita that one has to surpass this. The Vedic principles are based on the three qualities of the material modes. One has to transcend the three qualities, and then one can be situated in pure and simple spiritual life. Translation. The personified Vedas said, "We offer our respectful obeisances unto you, the Lord, the shelter of the quality of goodness, and therefore the source of all religion, austerity, and penance. For you are transcendental to all material qualities, and no one knows you or your actual situation." So Srila Prabhupada is explaining the personified Vedas are offering prayers to Lord Vishnu. So Prabhupada is explaining, in this material world there is the trinity of the three material qualities. So the three material qualities is goodness, passion, and ignorance. Three qualities. Sattva gun, rajas gun, tamas. Gun or guna means like, sometimes the example given is, guna is like a rope and it binds you. So these three modes of material nature are existing in the material world. And when the living entity comes in contact with material nature, immediately he becomes conditioned by these three modes. One mode, the second mode, or the third mode. Sattvam rajas tamaiti guna prakrita samviva nibbinanti mahabaho dehi dehi namadhyam. When the living entity comes in contact with material nature, he immediately becomes conditioned by the modes of material nature. So then these modes of material nature are trying to bewilder the living entity, the jiva. So sometimes the mode of goodness becomes more prominent, sometimes mode of passion, sometimes mode of ignorance. These modes of material nature actually, in one sense, they're fighting in order to control the living entity. So Lord Vishnu has accepted the superintendence of the quality of goodness, which is the source of religion, knowledge, austerity, renunciation, opulence. So Lord Vishnu is in the predominating deity in charge of goodness, and we Lord Shiva has taken charge of the mode of ignorance, and Lord Brahma has taken charge of the mode of passion. So, when one is in the quality of goodness, then actual peace, prosperity, knowledge, and religion can be attained. So a living entity has to come into the mode of goodness, and in the mode of goodness, actual peace, prosperity, knowledge, and religion can be achieved. So this is further described in chapter 14 of Bhagavad Gita, Modes of Material Nature, that those persons in the mode of goodness become purified. Those persons in the mode of passion, when acting in the mode of passion, results in distress. And activities in the mode of ignorance result in foolishness. Chapter 14 describes in great detail the modes of material nature, how the modes of material nature bewilder a living entity, and also the different characteristics of someone in the mode of passion, the characteristics of someone in the mode of ignorance. So activities in the mode of goodness result in one becoming purified. Ajnana tamasa phalam. Activities in the mode of passion are rajas tu phalam dukam. Dukam means what? Sukha and dukha. What does dukha mean? Distress. So rajas tu phalam dukam. Activities in the mode of passion, rajas, result in dukha, distress. Ajnana tamasa phalam. Activities in the mode of ignorance result in foolishness. So better than the mode of passion, ignorance is the mode of passion, and better than the mode of passion is the mode of goodness. So if one is situated in the mode of ignorance or passion, then there's no possibility of any type of happiness. Activities in the mode of passion result in distress. A person who is influenced by the mode of passion, that person will be in distress, complete anxiety. And we can see this. Some of our persons we come in contact, some of our supporters, businessmen and so forth, they are situated in the mode of passion. And we can see, although they may be materially opulent, they're in complete anxiety, isn't it? Complete distress. Only when you elevate yourself to the mode of goodness is there some possibility of peace, prosperity, knowledge, and religion. So a mode of goodness means knowledge in the mode of goodness is defined as what? Understanding the unity within diversity. Brahman. Knowledge in the mode of goodness means Brahman realization. That one is not this material body, one is eternal spirit soul. This is Brahma Gyan. So this is knowledge in the mode of goodness. To have some realization, knowledge, Gyan, and realization, Vigyan, the one is of Brahman. And knowledge in the mode of passion is defined as what? Knowledge of the mode of passion is? You identify different people, different material bodies from the external point of view. You see division. In other words, you're looking at the bodily concept of life. And knowledge in the mode of ignorance is where you think that whatever is your activities, this is the all in all, this is the most important thing. So, Sri Rupa Goswami is described, you may remember when we were doing Nectar of Instruction. Remember in the preface? He said that the instructions contained within this book by Rupa Goswami are meant to elevate one to the mode of goodness. So it is very important that we elevate ourselves to the mode of goodness, at least. Of course, we want to go even higher than the mode of goodness, and we want to go to pure goodness. Pure goodness is different to the mode of goodness. We have the mode of goodness, which is called sattva good, and then we have the mode of pure goodness. Pure goodness, or Suddha Sattva, is the transcendental stage. or the Vasudeva stage. So this is the stage that we want to elevate ourselves to, this very high stage. But even the mode of goodness is very good. Mode of goodness means to become free from ignorance and passion. So as soon as the living entity is subjected to the control of the other two qualities, which means passion and ignorance, their precarious conditional life becomes intolerable. Lord Vishnu, in his original position, is always nirguna, which means transcendental to the material qualities. Guna means quality, and nir means negation. So this word nirguna means free from material qualities. So Lord Vishnu is nirguna, free from material qualities. But this does not mean that he has no qualities at all. He has qualities, but they're not material. They are spiritual. A devotee is nirguna, free of material qualities, but he has spiritual qualities. So this word nirguna means to be free from material qualities, yes. But it means to have spiritual qualities. It doesn't mean to have no qualities at all. Nirguna doesn't mean to have no qualities. It means to have spiritual qualities, transcendental qualities. And Prabhupada is saying that nirguna does not indicate, however, that one has no qualities. The reason being is because impersonalists, Mayavadis, they use this word nirguna to indicate that the Lord has no qualities. He's formless, no personality, no character. He's formless, no form. So we say, yes, he's nirguna, he has no material qualities, he has no material personality, but he has a spiritual personality. He has spiritual or transcendental qualities. So the Lord has transcendental qualities by which he appears and manifests his pastimes. So these positive, transcendental, qualitative qualities are unknown to the students of the Vedas. Why are they unknown to the students of the Vedas? Because the Vedas generally stress impersonal understanding. Within the Veda, there is this word paroksha. Do you know what is the word paroksha? Paroksha. Paroksha means indirect. So the Vedic teachings are full of indirect meanings. So you may read the Vedas, but you may not get the direct meaning. Just like Bhagavad Gita has 5 different levels of understanding. There is the general understanding, then there's Guyam, secret, then there's more secret, then there's most secret, and there's the secret of all secrets. 5 levels of understanding. General understanding, you just read it. Then secret is Brahman Gyan, Brahma Gyan. More secret is Paramatma Gyan. Most secret is Bhagavan Gyan. And then secret of all secrets is even more confidential on how one serves Bhagavan. And this is more in chapter 9. So paroksha means indirect meaning. Just like we understand according to Gaudiya Vaishnavas that the topmost devotee of Krishna is Radharani. But if you read the Srimad Bhagavatam, then her name is not mentioned. You know that. What it says is Radhita Numnam. But the name actually Radharani is not there. But paroksha, deeper meaning, it is there. And the example given is the Vedas are like milk. And if you churn that milk, it becomes what? If you churn milk, it becomes what? Butter. So butter is like the essence. But then you boil that butter and you take out the impurities, it becomes ghee. So ghee is the ultimate essence. Ghee would be like the 10th canto of the Srimad Bhagavatam. It's the essence of the essence. But that ghee, if you have milk, ghee is also in the milk, isn't it? It's there, but it's just not directly manifested. You can't, it's there. The ghee is in the milk, but you can't see it. So the essence is within the Vedas, is there. But one has to be intelligent enough to be able to see it, or fortunate enough to be able to hear from a pure devotee who can explain it. So the Vedas, one may read the Vedic teachings, the Upanishads and the Puranas, and one may get paroksha, indirect meaning. One may not understand the essence. So Srila Prabhupada, of course, has explained the essence. He has taken the butter and the ghee, extracted it from the Vedic teachings, and explained the very essence. Even in the Krishna book, he's explained the essence, and further in Srimad Bhagavatam, the essence is explained. So Prabhupada is making the point here that mostly the students of the Vedas, they don't understand the transcendental qualities of Krishna. And then Prabhupada makes the point that it's so difficult to understand properly, tatvataha, in truth, the esoterical understanding of Krishna, that even great demigods like Brahma and Shiva do not understand. So he's making the point. Of course, Lord Brahma does understand. He's in the Brahma Sampradaya. And Lord Shiva also has some understanding, definitely. But Prabhupada is making the point that it's so rare to have a proper understanding of Krishna and his personality that even up to the demigods, they don't properly understand. Actually, the transcendental qualities are manifest only to the devotees. As confirmed in Bhagavad Gita, simply by discharging devotional service, one can understand the transcendental position of the Supreme Lord. So where is that described? Prabhupada is saying here, only by devotional service can one understand the transcendental position of the Supreme Lord. Do you know any of those verses which describe this? Right. Bhakti-amamavi jananti yavanas-jasmi tatvataha. Tatvataha means in truth. Only by bhakti can I be understood in truth. Bhakti-atvananya sakya aham evam vidu arjuna gyatum jastam cha tattvena pravistam cha prantapaha. Only by undivided devotional service can I be understood as I am, standing in front of you. Krishna is saying to Arjuna, only by undivided devotional service. He says, Naham Veda na tapasya, na dena na tujya. Not by study of Veda. Naham Veda. Not by tapasya. Not by austerity. Not by charity. Not by official worship. Official worship. I cannot be understood by these methods. Only by bhakti. Bhakti-atvanyan sakya. Only by undivided devotional service. Tesham satadayaktanam vajitam pratipurvakam. To those who are constantly devoted to me with love, again, to those who have bhakti, then I reveal myself. To those who worship me with love, I give them the understanding by which they can come to me. So there are many verses which describe the process of bhakti. So by bhakti, Krishna can reveal himself. Those who are in the mode of goodness can partially enter into the transcendental understanding. But it is advised in Bhagavad Gita that one has to surpass this. So, where is that confirmed in Bhagavad Gita? The end of chapter 14. Mam chuyuva vicharani bhakti yogana sevite sagunan samatityatam brahmabhuya kalpate. Only by undivided devotional service can I be understood as I am. One who engages in undivided devotional service immediately comes to the level of Brahman. Brahma Bhuta Prasanatmana Sochiti Nakanchiti. So one who engages in devotional service, then he transcends the modes of material nature. Brahma Bhuya Kalpite. So when you engage in devotional service, then you transcend the modes of material nature. But this devotional service has to be free from karma and free from jnana. So we're also engaging in devotional service, but our devotional service may be tinged or contaminated by the mode of ignorance and by the mode of passion. Our devotional service may be contaminated or contaminated, yes, because the mode of goodness even is contamination. So the service we render is contaminated by the modes of material nature. But if we continue to practice devotional service, then our devotional service will become perfect. And when it becomes perfect, then it becomes free from the influence of the modes of material nature. So this is the difference: devotional service in practice and devotional service in perfection. Sadhana and siddha. Sadhana bhakti and siddha bhakti. Sadhana bhakti means devotional service in practice, and siddha bhakti means devotional service in perfection, siddha. So our devotional service is sadhana, and it will remain devotional service in practice, even to the stage of ashakti. We go nishta, ruchi, ashakti. Only the mature stage of ashakti and the stage of bhav will our devotional service be called devotional service in perfection. So right up to the stage of ashakti is devotional service in practice. We are practicing, which means we can be influenced by the modes of material nature. Even to the stage of ashakti, we can be influenced by the mode of ignorance, or passion, or goodness. There are examples. It's described that Narada Muni, when he started on the path of bhakti, Narada Muni's bhakti was also influenced by the mode of goodness, because he was very much attracted to practicing bhajan in a quiet place, mode of goodness, in a very serene, quiet place. So his bhakti was tinged with the mode of goodness. Another example is Bilva Mangal Thakur. Bilva Mangal Thakur renounced the association of the prostitute, and immediately Bilva Mangal Thakur in previous life practiced bhakti, and he came to the stage of like ruchi in previous life. And then he took birth, and he was very pious, but he became attracted towards a prostitute. He became very, very attached to this woman, and in order to please her, he would do anything. So Bilva Mangal Thakur became degraded, and he became so attached to this woman, Chintamani, that he would do anything to please her. So on one occasion, he wanted her association. So in order to get her association, it was raining, it was a terrible storm, but he went late at night to get her association, and he had to cross the river was flooded, but because he had so much attachment for this Chintamani, then he didn't see this as obstacle. He just threw himself in the water and tried to swim across. And in swimming across, he almost drowned, but still he didn't care. So he got onto a dead body. A dead body happened to be floating there, and he sort of swam across, doggy paddle, something or other, So, but, when one becomes very attached, and there's no obstacle, isn't it? In spiritual life also, you become very attached to Krishna, there's no obstacle. So in material life, you become very attached to a man or a woman or position or politics, there's no obstacle. So Bilva Mangal he didn't see this as an obstacle. He almost drowned, but still he swam across the river. Then he came to Chintamani's house, and the gate was locked. He's pounding on the door, bang, 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 but no one can hear, because it's late at night, thunderstorm, like those storms we had last week. So he climbs the wall, and he grabs hold of the vines and the creepers, and accidentally he grabs hold of one snake, but still doesn't notice, because he has something else on his mind. Dayati vishayam pumsam. He's contemplating something else. So he climbs the wall, and then he falls down on the other side, and he lands in a very awkward position, and hurts himself. Chintamani comes, and Chintamani is very amazed that he can have so much attachment. So Chintamani says, if you were as attached to Krishna as you were to me, if you could be as attached to Krishna as you are to me, then you'd be a great devotee. So Chintamani rejected him, actually. She rejected him. So, when a woman rejects a man, if the man is very attached, then the man can become very disturbed. Sometimes commit suicide. So it's described that ordinarily Bilva Mangal Thakur, he was so attached to this woman that when she rejected him, ordinarily he would have committed suicide. But because in previous life he already had elevated himself to quite an elevated stage, immediately he took shelter of Krishna. Immediately he took shelter of Krishna. When he was rejected by Chintamani, immediately he took shelter of Krishna. And he started thinking of Krishna, chanting Krishna's name, immediately doing 1 lakh, 64 rounds like that, immediately thinking of Krishna. So he went from practicing no devotion in this life, practicing no devotion, he jumped the stage of Sadhu Sangha, he jumped Bhajana Kriya, he jumped Anishta, he jumped Nishta, he jumped Ruchi, he went straight to Ashakti. Straight to Ashakti, and he was very, very attached to Krishna. No more thoughts of Chintamani. And he thought, now I will go to Vrindavan. So he started walking to Vrindavan. So Bilva Mangal Thakur promoted himself straight to the stage of Ashakti. This is called Swabhavika Shraddha. His Shraddha was spontaneous. He didn't have to promote himself step by step. He went straight to Ashakti, because in previous life, he galloped, he jumped. So he was on the stage of Ashakti, but the stage of Ashakti is still sadhana. It's not siddha. It's still devotional service and practice. So after 1 week, as he was walking to Vrindavan, after some time, he went to one village, and in that village he saw this young lady, and she was at the well filling water. And when he saw, he became very attracted towards this woman, and in his mind, he started to think, let me try to enjoy. So in other words, he got influenced by the mode of passion. So this is proving that even on the stage of Ashakti, still it's devotional service and practice. You can still be influenced by the modes of material nature. So he was influenced by lust. But he became so embarrassed by what he was thinking. Bilva Mangal Thakur became so embarrassed by what he was thinking that he followed this lady home, and then he was introduced to the lady's husband, and then he said, please give me some pins, needles. And they thought maybe he had a thorn, so they gave him. And with these pins he plucked his eyes out. So this is Ashakti, that you have so much attachment to Krishna. Yes, you may be influenced by the mode of passion. That can happen. But at the same time, you're willing to pluck your eyes out, because he saw that his eyes were the offenders. So he plucked his eyes out. So that's called Ashakti. So he continued to walk, and he was trying to find his way to Vrindavan. So now you can imagine how much he's thinking of Krishna. He is so much thinking of Krishna, doing so much bhajan. And then one boy came, and this boy introduced himself and said, I can also take you. I can take you to Vrindavan. I'm also going. Of course, it's Krishna. So Krishna appeared to Bilva Mangal Thakur as a young boy and took him to Vrindavan. So Bilva Mangal Thakur promoted himself to the level of perfection, because Krishna is not going to appear to you, on the stage of Ashakti. You have to come to the stage of Bhav. So Krishna took him to Vrindavan. So in other words, Krishna appeared to him. It's very nice. Krishna took him to Vrindavan. And then Bilva Mangal Thakur realized that actually this boy who was leading him, who was helping him, who was feeding him, who was taking him to Vrindavan, Bilva Mangal Thakur realized that this is actually Krishna, Nandalal. This is Krishna. So on one occasion he tried to grab hold of Krishna, and Krishna escaped. And then Bilva Mangal Thakur said, "You may be able to escape my grasp, but you cannot escape from the core of my heart." Bilva Mangal Thakur said, "You cannot escape from the core of my heart." So Bilva Mangal Thakur promoted himself from devotional service and practice to devotional service and perfection. And he also wrote a very famous book called Krishna Karanamrita. Krishna Karanamrita. It's a very famous book, glorifying Krishna. About 100 verses glorifying Krishna. And this book became lost. And then when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appeared, and he was traveling in South India, he discovered these two books, Brahma Samhita and Krishna Karanamrita. Not the whole Brahma Samhita, just one chapter of the Brahma Samhita. There's 100 chapters of Brahma Samhita. One chapter Mahaprabhu found, and that's what we have now, the Brahma Samhita, so many verses. So Brahma Samhita and Krishna Karanamrita. And Mahaprabhu used to read Krishna Karanamrita. But previously, in the same life, Bilva Mangal Thakur was attached to a prostitute, Chintamani. But in the same life, he promoted himself and became a resident of Vrindavan, and Krishna appeared to him in the same life. So Bilva Mangal Thakur is an example of someone on the platform of Ashakti, who became influenced by lust, but overcame it and promoted himself to a higher level. So our devotional service is in practice. Srila Vishnu Chakravarti Narottam Thakur gives the example that our devotional service is like an unripe mango. It's unripe. So it's called devotional service in practice. But when our devotional service becomes in perfection, which means mature ashakti, or the stage of bhav, then the mango becomes ripe. When the mango becomes ripe, it becomes very sweet. So in the stage of ashakti, then in our creeper of devotional service, then leaves start to come. And in the stage of bhav, flowers start to come on our creeper of bhakti. And when a flower comes on the creeper, it opens up and it attracts the bee. So in the stage of bhav, Krishna is attracted, the black bee of Krishna is attracted to us, will come. You'll come and go, come and go, come and go. It's the stage of bhav. In the stage of prema, fruit will come on our creeper, and we can start to taste it. So we simply have to carry on practicing with patience, enthusiasm, and confidence. Utsaha nishtantayat. Enthusiasm, patience, and confidence. And we can think also like Bilva Mangal Thakur, he attained perfection in one life. It is possible. But one has to be so serious that if one will fall down, one could even do something like Bilva Mangal Thakur did. So when you become that serious, you purchase Krishna. So Prabhupada says one has to transcend the three qualities, and then one can be situated in pure and simple spiritual life. So as we continue to practice serving Guru and Gauranga, preaching in this mission, Krishna consciousness, trying to preach, trying to help preach as best we can according to our realization, according to our ability, according to our strength, according to our health. As best we can, we try to help preach. And we very strictly concentrate on our hearing and chanting, then we can promote ourselves. And the speed at which you can promote yourself is depending on how much you apply yourself to hearing and chanting and how seriously you take this preaching mission. If you just do the necessary, then you make advancement. But if you do more than the necessary, if you rise beyond the call of duty, and you do even more than the necessary, in terms of hearing and chanting, in terms of taking on responsibility and preaching, then you get even more mercy. So your advancement is dependent on how serious you are, how much you absorb yourself in these two things, hearing and chanting, and taking on responsibility and trying to preach within this preaching movement. Any questions?
Sometimes we hear that Sri Radha said that if my disciples can be elevated to the mood of passion, then it will be very good in their lifetime. How do we understand that?
I don't know, we'd have to see at what time in his life he said that. And it has to be said in context. Srila Bhaktisiddhanta was a little disappointed with some of his disciples. Therefore it is said that he concluded his pastimes, at an early stage. He left on January the 1st, 1937. So what was he, 62, 63 years old. But some of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta's disciples, of course, are extremely exemplary. Many of them are very, very exemplary also. But he was also a little disappointed because they were fighting. And what were they fighting about? Where am I going to stay in the temple? What room will you have? My room must be bigger than your room. In my room I want marble like this. So he was a little disappointed. And he said there will be war. There will be war. He was disappointed. When Srila Bhaktisiddhanta left his body, they weren't going to put his body in samadhi. They were going to burn his body. They were actually going to burn his body. But at that time, Srila Prabhupada's sannyas guru, Srila Bhakti Pragyan Keshav Maharaj, said no. Srila Bhaktisiddhanta's body will be put into samadhi. And they took his body from Calcutta on a train to Navadvip. And many Vaishnavas came also, and there they put his body into samadhi. So some of his followers weren't so serious. And we know this because immediately they went to litigation. They went into the court of law. You know this? So he was a little disappointed. So then he may have said something like this: if I can just promote my disciples to the mode of passion, and if they can do something, it's good. Because Srila Bhaktisiddhanta, the last 18 years of his life, his mood was preaching. Definitely was preaching. And although Srila Bhaktisiddhanta requested that his disciples chant 64 rounds, he would also accept disciples who only did 4 rounds. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.